Hello everyone and welcome back to the RITMIX Russian DOTA2 League Losers Bracket Finals between No Tidehunter and Virtus.Pro. No Tidehunter once again gonna have taken that first game up 1-0 for this series against Virtus.Pro. See if they can take game 2 in the same fashion, clear this out, head into those grand finals where they'll face up against Team Dignitas. Or Virtus.Pro are going to be able to take this game back, force it to a game 3, be able to try and redeem themselves in a grand finals rematch after Dignitas, of course, yesterday sent them down here to the losers bracket to face off against No Tidehunter for their chance at the grand finals. First bad phase already well underway. We're going to see No Tidehunter on the dire side with this first pick and ban in this particular game. Nyx Assassin and Bat Rider coming out as the bans for No Tidehunter. Virtus.Pro. I'm going to choose to ban out the Nature's Prophet as well as the Chen. So Nature's Prophet, definitely a hero that worked out well for them last game. It looks like No Tidehunter, or rather Virtus.Pro don't want to be on the back foot when it comes to this split pushing game once again. Like they were last game, like they had to really deal with last game. And now we're going to see how Virtus.Pro want to respond to this first pick, Wisp. They go with Lone Druid as well as Keeper Light. Lone Druid, of course, a hero known for how much Admiral Bulldog likes to play the guy. Definitely a hero that we see a lot of if you're watching No Tidehunter streams. As it's kind of the hero that got Admiral Bulldog into the competitive scene. His Lone Druid play was just so good. And No Tide now, gonna pick up Gyro as well as Magnus. Kind of surprised to see the Gyro get picked up. I know No Tidehunter don't really favor the Chaos Knight. As much as a lot of other teams, they will run the Wisp. I believe it goes usually in the hands of Aki. But they don't necessarily run with the heroes that you kind of expect to see. We'll see if Gyrocopter ends up in the mid lane in the hands of S4 or even as a support. Maybe Aki or EGM picking that up, but right now I'm kind of expecting to see them run the Gyrocopter as a carry with the Wisp, and I think they've done this before in a recent game I was casting. It worked out for them then. Let's see if they can do it now. It's just Loader likes to get all that move speed on Gyrocopter, and for those who haven't seen his new Gyrocopter build that he really favors, he goes for Sanj and Yasha, followed by Ethereal Blade, because hell yes. Virtus.Pro now, however, looking for their first, or third pickup here, of the first picking phase, the last one. Lifestealer. And they're going to go with Lifestealer, so that's going to lead us into that second ban phase, probably who we're going to be seeing as their carry for this particular game. With that Lone Druid taken to the offlane then, Keeper Light as a support on the Lifestealer. Leaves them looking for a second support, as well as some sort of mid hero. Of course, that can move around a little bit as the rest of the draft develops. We're going to see a Puck come out first ban here in the second ban phase from No Tidehunter. Just trying to limit the mid heroes they can really pick up. Wouldn't be surprised to see like Queen of Pain getting banned out as well here. By No Tidehunter, trying to just limit the gankers that can really come out. They want those kinds of heroes on their side. It's also possible they don't ban out the Queen of Pain if they're thinking about picking up themselves. We don't see Admiral Bulldog play a ton of Magnus. It's usually in the hands of S4 when it comes to No Tidehunter. Kind of what I would expect them to do once again here, but they can switch it around as such if they want to go that way. It's also possible they could pick up something else that's powerful for ganking for No Tidehunter. Hero like Bounty Hunter, pretty strong with Wisp. You get the Bounty Hunter around scouting things out, finds a hero out alone, and immediately Wisp teleports someone else in there. Suddenly there's 3 heroes on top of you. You're like, oh no, I don't want this at all. Darkseer, the first ban coming out from VP. So taking out offlaners thus far, maybe kind of expecting, as I am, that Magnus is going to go in the hands of S4 in that mid lane, and they're looking for an offlaner here. There's the Bounty Hunter ban. I think that's certainly wise by VP. I would have been kind of amazed if they had let it through. Basically, it would have come down to me thinking they had a read on No Tidehunter, what they were going for here, what they wanted to get done, and they were kind of expecting that Magnus to suddenly be in the hands of Admiral Bulldog if they weren't going to ban out heroes like Darkseer, like the Bounty Hunter. Leshrac, that second ban coming out from No Tidehunter. Just another pretty decent support hero. Not sure I would have expected to see the Leshrac in this game. Of course, VP, I think, have run the Leshrac in the past with a similar lineup, and had some success. They went for more of a lightning build, I believe, in that particular game. We're able to spam out that nuke in the form of the Lightning Storm with the Chakra Magic to give him his mana back. And we're successful that way. Lena coming as the last ban now from No Tide. So, banning out supports after the Puck. It looks like Puck is the only mid hero they were particularly worried about. Queen of Pain going to be the last ban out from Virtus.Pro. So No Tidehunter not banning out themselves, I guess, kind of forced VP to do it if they were expecting some sort of off-lane hero here, but they leave the Clockwork in, who is certainly a hero that we could see picked up here in the hands of Emerald Bulldog if they are, in fact, looking for their off-laner. But No Tide going to spend some time to think about it, not committed to anything just yet. Their lineup very open. IO probably going to be in the mid lane.
5 seconds
But nothing, or not in the mid lane, excuse me, as a support rather. But nothing else really given away by these lanes, just because of how versatile hero Gyrocopter really is. And of course, No Tidehunter were the team that liked to run him as support. That was back in the Eternal Envy days, so I wouldn't really expect to see it here. I don't think they've done that ever since. I'm tired thinking about it, and they do go with the Riki. So a hero that we've seen No Tidehunter run in the past, in favor of running him with the IO, the Wisp. Just another hero that kind of works like the Chaos Knight, but I think it's a hero that maybe Load is a little bit more comfortable playing. We rarely, if ever, see No Tidehunter actually pick up the Chaos Knight. So maybe he just isn't super comfortable playing with it. I don't know. Maybe No Tidehunter in general just think they're above picking that combo, even though they're okay with picking Phantom Lancer from games occasionally. And now here comes the fourth pick from VP. They're going to go with Rubik, so picking up the support doesn't prevent No Tidehunter from picking that up. And leaves them probably looking for their mid lane hero. Of course, Storm left in the pool if they want to go for those Storm Nags bombs. We saw that a couple times yesterday in that match against Fnatic for the Defense Grand Finals. So they could be thinking about that here. Go with it. It's definitely a potent combo. But if Storm ends up against Riki IO in the mid lane, he's not going to get a lot done. And that does have to be a concern for Virtus.Pro if they're thinking about running a lineup like that. No Tide now have about a minute left of reserve time. Haven't expended much of any as of yet. Think about this last pickup, who they want, and how they want to lane these heroes. They do see what the tri-lane coming up from Virtus.Pro is likely going to be at this point with the Keeper Light, Lifestealer, and Rubik. Of course, VP, if they're expected to see that IO Riki in the mid lane, can send a dual lane of their own to try and contest it in the form of like Lifestealer, Keeper of the Light, or even Lifestealer Rubik. I would be probably, either support can really do it. And they can just sit there and try and keep contesting the farm of the Riki, stay alive. Lifestealer, not the easiest hero for them to kill. But they are thinking about it, trying to figure out what they expect VP to do, or what they think, what is it within the range of VP doing here. And they're down to 5 seconds left.
5 seconds
really not sure how if they want to pick up just another support here. They go with the Storm for themselves, so it looks like we are going to see the support Gyrocopter. Definitely not something we've seen in quite some time, but maybe they're concerned that VP were going to pick that up, and we're like, alright. Guess we'll just get that for ourselves. Pick it up here. We can run it, certainly. And we'll see if Aki picks up that support Gyrocopter once again. It's been a while since I've seen it. I talk about it every once in a while in games that, hey, just because they have that Gyrocopter pickup doesn't mean he's being run as a carry. And most of the time that's an irrelevant statement, but here it is. No Tide. With the Riki, the Storm Spirit, probably both going to be run as sort of farmers in the lanes, probably Storm in the mid. Could also just head up towards the safe if they want to set Riki in the mid lane with IO, and then they can run gyrocopters as support for Storm or Magnus, depending. Storm Gyro can sort of jungle if they want to try and run that route. Certainly not the ideal. Now VP, you have to think about where they want to go, and they eventually just go with a Beastmaster, actually. So it does look like who we're going to see in the mid lane. It's going to be a Beastmaster, not a hero that I would have really predicted here, but it does provide them with some additional lockdown, which they kind of sorely needed. As it stands right now, they have Telekinesis and maybe Entangling Claws for the pair. Not the most powerful abilities you could be casting when you're trying to stop someone from moving. Of course, Telekinesis doesn't keep you stunned for too long, or up in the air. It stuns when it hits the ground a little bit, which is often useful. Wait for these players to pick up their heroes, and we can get into this second game.
Prepare for battle!
So we can go over the players and their heroes very quickly here. No Tidehunter. We're going to have Aki taking up the Gyrocopter. Kind of like I expected. S4 on the Storm Spirit, EGM on the Wisp, Loda on the Riki, and finally Magnus. Being played by Admiral Bulldog. Killing off some trees here with his skewer. Just wants to be as ungankable in this bottom lane as possible. Looks like an engagement might be coming on the top lane. Gonna get scouted out by the bear. Be kind of surprised to see VP really go for this. I guess it is a 4-on-5 fight. If they want to try and take it early, it looks like they're planning on running their tri-lane aggressively. Into the Riki with the zombie guy, the Nakes, up here farming. And they're being chased out of the jungle now, so bottom lane going to be Magnus up against Lord Druid. Not a particularly good matchup for Admiral Bulldog on this mag. Getting a couple last hits on KSI now, and Illusion are going to spawn in the upper river, so Nake's going to be able to take that. Mag was prepared to grab it bottom, taking a little bit of harass even to make sure he spotted it out. These Lifestealer Illusions coming in. EGM has to be kind of careful. Oh, he's just going to tether up. Kill some trees as well. But here we go, this tri-lane gonna be taking place up top for both teams. So we're gonna have the Gyro Wisp Riki tri-lane going up against the Nakes Keeper Light Rubik tri-lane. Definitely the one coming out from VP, a little more traditional. Loaded taking some harass already from Illuminate. But looks like they're going Gyrocopter with that Rocket Barrage. A pretty strong ability at level 1. And NS already down to about a quarter HP, going to tango up. Try to get out. You have to be concerned about this Aki, or this Gyro, as well as the Wisp. Gets him quite a bit of move speed. Aki could just stay close, get to the other side, stun him up with the Wisp tether, and then has that Rocket Barrage to fly out. Could do quite a bit of damage. Of course, it doesn't cost that much mana. It's going to be able to use it quite a few times, it would seem. EGM going to spot out that ward there, blocking the camp. Killing it off. It's kind of amazing to me that that ward and this ward will both block this, but this won't. Seems crazy. Top lane, best of the farm. Going the way of Illidan on this Nakes. Not particularly surprising. Usually when you got an aggressive tri-lane coming out, you expect to be getting the best of the farm, as you're thinking your supports are going to be in a good position to really keep the enemy carry off, as well as the supports kind of being forced into a position where they're always right there in the lane, providing the harass on the carry, what have you. So you're going to get spotted out, so it's going to be blocked once again. They do have one set of creeps there, so they'll be able to use that. Aki looks to be going for another sentry. Nope, just going to get tethered up. Telekinesis is going to keep him alive for the moment. Kills off those trees as well. NS trying to get away. Gonna have another Rocket Barrage up in a minute from Aki. Getting in on NS. NS taking a lot of damage. It's going to be first blood. Going the way EGM on the IO. So, first blood goes the way of No Tidehunter in this game. A little bit different than last. Loda trying to get some farm in this top lane as well. Is he rocking that Sanj and that Yasha? Ooh, Sanj the Backseeker. So, farm continuing to be traded up in this top lane. Nyx continuing to get the best of it. Mid lane, in the meantime, going the way of Storm. Not particularly surprising at this point, and bottom going to be going the way of Low Druid. Pretty much what you would expect from seeing these matchups. None of the heroes or players really getting an undue advantage just by outplaying the opponent for the moment, but this top lane, these supports have to be somewhat concerned about getting killed off by that Gyrocopter Wisp at any point in time. And while the supports are being kept back, Loda can last hit. He does have backstab up to level 2, so he has some pretty good damage when he's just lasting behind the creeps. And utilizing that creep aggro to pull the creeps behind his creep wave momentarily by right-clicking on the Nyx, and then they're, of course, fighting with the backs of the enemies to his side. Makes him feel a little bit safer. Riki got a bleak hit and going on NS. The Spirit's coming through as well. Loda trying to do whatever damage he can. The telekinesis comes off. Aki taking a lot of damage. It looks like he's going to go down. Still alive for the moment, and Nyx gets that last hit. In the meantime, Wisp trying to get whatever he can done there. Tethers from stun. Gonna take the Nyx back for a moment. Looks like he's chasing. Doesn't have the mana or cooldown on open wounds to really go in. And Aki is back, so they end up trading 1 for 1. Rubik did go down first, which is not irrelevant. Anytime it looks like a dive in the mid lane. S4 going in, and he's gonna lose his life. Crazy with the stake charge. Goes down as well behind the tower. So they end up just trading, but Storm did die first, which is just as bad. As what I was saying, top, not irrelevant. Not irrelevant. No Tide with their Tidehunter wards. Continuing to mess with me. Mess with my mind. Top lane, we got Loda continue to try and get whatever farm he can. Still behind the Nyx by a little bit. We have Illuminates flying through occasionally from Smile. Try to keep Loda off the creep wave, but it's also giving him a chance to fight in his tower. Just looks like he was trying to last hit with the Plague Strike there, just 30 damage. Wasn't quite enough. It looks like Aki thinking about going in on Smile here. AGM waiting around on the Wisp, trying to get positioned, ready to tether to Aki if he can sneak up on the Keeper Light. Not going to be able to, however, very successfully. Stack could have failed there. S4 going down the mid lane once again. Starting to get kind of wrecked by this Beastmaster, it would seem. He's going to find a double damager in the upper river. Purple Roar did come out, but S4 was also level 6. I guess he must have taken some damage beforehand. Aki looking to lose his life here. And X is, nope, not going to get the last hit. Lifestealer. Got one last little claw swipe there, if you want to call his hands claws. So there are 4 heroes up from VP in this top lane. Illuminate flying through as well. Killing off these stacks in this medium camp. So going to put some farm the way of VP, as well as deny any sort of pulling coming out there, which denies experience directly from the supports on the No Tidehunter lineup. 3-4 now the kill score in favor of Virtus.Pro, and Beastmaster getting a lot of work done this game. Getting quite a bit of work done this game. Already with 2 kills on S4 in the mid lane, lost his life to the tower, which is not the ideal, but not the worst thing ever either, as he did kill Storm first. And now able to set up a gank in that top lane as well. Or not really, I guess he wasn't super involved with it. Tried the last hit in the top lane. Wisp appearing to port to this mid lane now. Maybe thinking about doing something with crazy
Whoa,
here.
what'd I miss?
There's the tether, as well as the vortex. Spirit's doing a lot of damage to Team W. The roar coming off an EGM with that rotation from NS. It's going to be the death of EGM, but Crazy going to lose his life as well. Now S4, you can get away. Going to have just enough mana to ball lightning up the cliff. So they end up training a support for their solo mid. Not the worst trade for No Tidehunter, but not a trade you necessarily want to make. They would have preferred, of course, to just gotten the kill. But there was good rotation from NS. At an opportune time, he was there before the gank even really went off. It looks like they were probably trying to set up a gank on Storm Spirit once again. Had the roar and everything. Riki up to level 6, 7 even. So he's got that permanent invisibility.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Comes for you. Looks like he's porting bottom. Maybe he's going to try and set up some sort of gank. On the lone druid, not going to be the easiest, but they do have reverse polarity from Magnus to try and rely on here. And Loda get in position behind. Ember Bulldog needs to get that reverse polarity off. Skewer comes out. There's reverse polarity. They're going to have Cloud as well if they want to try to drop the slow. I think they were a little late. And Loda not going to get the kill on KSI. One hit. He's going to salve up now. Emerald Bulldog going to lose his life. But the roar actually coming out from Beastmaster. Not sure if that was super necessary. But does get the kill nonetheless. And failed gank from No Tidehunter. Just couldn't finish off this bear. It's too big. Too tanky. Now he's going to spot out that the Lone Druid is back up to about 500 HP. Which is really more than Loda can burst down quickly at this stage in the game. Storm diving behind the tower, killing off the creep wave, trying to pressure this tier 1. He knows that the Storm Spirit, or the Beastmaster did go down to that bottom lane. Yeah, the smoke was too late. The Lone Druid was already able to kind of walk out of it. Of course, it doesn't have the biggest radius until you put some points into it. So it doesn't slow, even though it slows the same percentage, it doesn't really slow for as long typically because they can walk out of it faster. But it was late. That's the important part. He was one hit from dead. If he had put it on time, might have been able to make that difference. Dunno. Looks like a Buckler is up on Crazy, so we're going to be seeing the mech come out from him and the Beastmaster. Aki rocking some counter warding in the entire jungle. Just playing a game with each other. Supports warding, counter warding constantly up in this top lane. Wanted to keep control of the vision up here. Some ports coming to the mid lane from both sides. They have a sentry here. Sentry gonna get dropped. Loda. Ooh. They're gonna initiate it. Kind of surprised to see it. Crazy. On his way in, smoked. Probably would have been able to get in range for that roar on the Riki. It looks like they're thinking about going in on the Nakes. This is not going to be the easiest gank for them. He has phase boots up. And yeah, Aki just backing off. Would have been pretty surprised to see No Tidehunter commit to that. Aki coming back in once again. Wisp not really near anyone to port. Or prevent him up on Illidan. Aki taking some damage. The Rocket Barrage already off. Here comes the Skewer from Emerald Bulldog and the reverse player Illidan. In some trouble and gonna infest. Still alive. The infest kills off Aki. Roar from Beastmaster gonna finish off Emerald Bulldog. Actually, the last hit. Good the way Rubik with that Fade Bolt. And Loda feeling like he can't get shit done this game. Trying to move around, trying to gank with this Riki. They're not doing anything. They're just dying. I guess they get a kill in the mid lane. Storm. Able to pick off Keeper of the Light. Pretty much the lowest priority of your targets. At least for now. When they're trying to go for pushes, of course, Keeper Light a pretty good target if you can get a pick on him. But there's a bear in this bottom lane. Trying to put some pressure on the tier 1. Gonna back off for now. Worried about his life. And rightly so, as there are several heroes from No Tidehunter making their way down now. Looks like Wisp gonna port into the mid lane. Sitting at only about half health. So shouldn't be particularly confident about this.
Is under attack.
And really hasn't made use of that relocate ability yet to get something done.
Dyer's
Lifestealer gets
top
the last hit
tower
on the
has
tower.
fallen.
In the top lane, it's feeling like Virtus.Pro are in a
Radiant's
pretty
middle
commanding
tower
position this
is
game,
under
even though it's
attack.
only 8-5 at kill score. Just where the
Radiant
kills have been a
structures
little
are
bit more
fortified.
important, and there's been a little bit more recent as well. Let's take a look at experience and gold after we make sure nothing happens here. Looks like No Tidehunter are just going to disengage cleanly. Alright, experience and gold. Gold going to be Virtus.Pro's favor. About 3,500 experience, looking about the same, just popping over 4K. Actually, both popping over 4K. With that most recent update, pop out the item chart real quick, see if we spot anything
Dyer's
out.
middle tower
Looks
is
particularly
under
interesting.
attack.
Headdress is up on crazy, so he's getting ever closer to that mech, but otherwise nothing super big picked up. EGM, gonna tether away, he's alive for the moment. Smoke gonna get dropped as well, just trying to keep
Dyer's
crazy
middle
out of
tower
range.
is under attack.
To get a sort of big roar off, but this mid tower gonna get obliterated.
Dyer's middle tower has fallen.
2,100 gold up now in KSI on this lone druid. Looks like he's going to be going for Radiance in this game. And the mech is done for crazy. Armlet also picked up on Illidan. Not surprising to see that. And that's about it. S4 looks to be going for an Orchid with that Robe of the Magi, but nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. It'll be quite some time before we actually see that sort of thing coming up from him. Loda and S4 pushing in this mid tier 1. They're going to be able to get it down. S4 getting the last hit on the Storm Spirit.
Middle tower has fallen.
Call down being used by Aki, just trying to stall this push, but the tier 1 going to go down. Lone Druid getting that last hit.
Dyer's bottom tower has fallen.
And out, gonna lay
Radiant's
into
middle
this tier
tower is
2.
under attack.
No fear. And really,
Dyer's
doesn't
bottom
feel like they
tower
need to be
is under
afraid.
attack.
Are they going for tier
Dyer's
3?
bottom tower
Virtus.Pro
has
continuing to
fallen.
go forward. No Tidehunter trying to do whatever they can in this tier 2 in the mid lane. But it's still sitting above half health.
Radiant's middle tower
And
is
here
under
comes the
attack.
push into the tier 3.
Dyer's bottom
Virtus.Pro
tower
ready
is
to
under
take high
attack.
ground. Whatever, no big deal. They still have 3 heroes in that mid lane. It looks like they're just going to trade the tier 2 tower.
Radiant's middle
But they're
tower has
losing their
fallen.
tier 3. They have no glyph. The tier 3 is already down.
Dyer's bottom tower has fallen.
No Tide.
Dyer's
Trading in a
bottom
way that
tower
you don't
is
really
under
expect to
attack.
be particularly good. Emerald Bulldog going to get the reverse parry on a couple. Leads to the kill on Rubik very quickly. The roar going to come out. That's Emerald Bulldog's got the EGM. As well as Loda taking quite a bit of damage. Going to be able to back off for the time being. Aki getting entangled up. Storm going to be able to ball lightning away, and that's going to be Aki's life as well. So 2 for 2 trade it ends up being. But they already lost their tier 3. They don't kill either of the carries of the Virtus.Pro lineup, and their melee racks getting hit by bears. And the melee rack is gone. No Tidehunter. 15 minutes into the game. Lose melee racks. Ball lightning coming out from Storm. Trying to do what he
Dyer's
can.
bottom barracks are
And it
under
looks like
attack.
Vortex was on cooldown. Ooh. They lose the Wisp. Oh, so they lose another kill and the melee racks after the buyback of the Gyrocopter. Don't manage to kill anybody off.
Ho-ho!
Not what you like to see if you're no Tidehunter, and now they're sinning. 15 minutes into the game, a lineup that's behind in terms of experience and gold, losing a fight, and also losing melee racks in their bottom lane. Still have tier 2s up in the other two, but there's a relic up on this bear now, and they thought this push was brutal before, quick, efficient. Well, now this bear is basically a tower killing machine.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
He's gonna have that Radiance soon. That's gonna make him a hero killing machine too. He can not even
Dyer's middle tower
really
is
focus
under
on any of these
attack.
heroes. Just stand there, attack towers, make him his bitch, and suddenly all the enemy heroes are burning to death. Cause an 18-minute Radiance is pretty strong, especially when the other team is really not doing well.
Dyer's structures are fortified.
It's not like this is a Radiance where they've sacrificed their other lanes, kind of. The Lone Druid is doing particularly well, but no one else is. As for coming in, they're going to get the kill on Rubik once again, trying to go on crazy. Keeping him in smoke for the time being. He's going to go down without getting the roar off, but Illidan able to finish off Aki in the back of the fight. Smile not getting chased. It's a 4-staff up. Going to get killed off. Triple kill for Loda. Storm now chasing after Illidan and KSI. It looks like EGM going to lose his life to that root. Reverse player going to come off. That's an ultra kill now for Loda. And Infest coming off from Lifestealer. He's going to be alive in these creeps for a moment. There he goes, coming out, Emerald Bulldog. Gonna be his target, but he's gonna lose his life, it looks like. Get in a fight with Loda. Loda can't even get in a slap fight here. Wants to do anything he can. Magnus getting the last hit. Looked like Loda was getting ready for the blink strike. So winning the fight there ends up being a 5-for-1 trade, I believe. Unless, oh no, 5-for-2. They lost Gyrocopter as well. Both supports going down their side, but they clean team wipe for the opposition. That's the kind of fights No Tidehunter is going to need here. They have to build off of being behind as well as always being worried about this bottom lane pushing in. They haven't even taken the tier 1 in this lane, which means they're going to have to push through 3 towers to try and even the lane up. That's going to take effort. It's going to take a lot of work, especially when you're behind and you're probably going to be contested on 2 of those towers. If we're trying to push, if you just go for a straight up team 5-man push. And looks like we're going to have another secondary S4 double damage rune. Going to spot out KSI. Shouldn't be able to get this kill and might be in some trouble. KSI taking some damage though. EGM going to port Loda in. Loda trying to do whatever damage he can, but gonna need to get the hell out of here. And going to be able to. No gem or anything picked up. It's kind of surprising to see. From this Virtus.Pro lineup, they had the gem, I think, earlier than this last game. Up on the Lion. And they weren't even against something as obvious as a Riki Mark. Alright, so we got another pause in the fight. Was about to go. Let's take a look at grass. Gold. Even with that fight one, No Tidehunter really not able to pull it too far in their favor. It was up to about 7,500 and they pulled it back down to maybe 5,500. Now it's back up to 6K, all in favor of Virtus.Pro. Experience though, that's where it's big. Getting a team fight like that where you wipe the enemy team gives you a lot of experience to go to a 1,200 lead in their favor, but it's heading back towards 0. And it doesn't feel like No Tidehunter are really going to be able to hold on to it for too long. It looks like a Sanjayasha going to be coming out from Riki. Or it's possibly goes for the BKB here. I think if Loda were particularly wise, he might go for that BKB, but it's not super useful. They have the Roar, they have the Entangling Claws that go through it. Being able to dodge damage from Illuminate is kind of important when you only have 1,100 HP. But so is going fast, you know. Some days you just want to go fast. Still having this Orb of Venom for that big ass slow. And a push now coming through the top lane from Virtus.Pro. We'll see if they want to go high ground again. The Radiance is up on the Bear. Tier 2 is still in their way, however, it's at full health. Won't be for long with this Bear approaching. As well as to some extent the Lifestealer with his Desolator. Which is really just going to be helping this Bear kill it even faster. Oy. And No Tidehunter grouping up around here. Like they want to try and do something. There's only 3 heroes up here, but of course the 2 that aren't here are the Riki as well as the Wisp. Who could be there in a moment's notice. The Wisp will be forced back out momentarily, but not going to be super concerned. We'll be able to get abilities off. And here goes high ground once again. Call down being used, trying to stall up for as long as possible. The Bear taking a lot of damage. Already down to a couple hundred HP. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that resummon. And the tier 3 at half. Looks like Nake's actually going to port down to the bottom lane. So he's going to try and defend up and get the kill on EGM. EGM going down. Loda, no TP scroll. Do they know?
Is under attack.
No, it looks like VP are just content to back off. They take half the tier 3. Life still gets a free kill. I was kind of expecting to see the recall on the Nakes from Keeper of the Light. Is it already up? I guess his ult's on cooldown, which might be the reason that didn't happen. Keeper of the Light gonna get picked off here by S4. It looks like that's his death with the last remnant drop. And S4 gonna be able to get out. He has that Orchid done now, which is kind of a big deal if they want to try and gank the Nakes with the Riki, as well as the Storm. And he does have enough money for that Sanj and Yasha now, if that is the route he's going. If he's choosing to pick up the BKB, well, he needs a little bit more. And we'll probably see that as a reason for him to wait. Also, possibly he wants to buy back just in case. Because with how this game's been going thus far,
Where's the party?
you never know when you're about to get picked off. S4 gonna spot the enemy team out up on that cliff. I think he was trying to drop a run it for sight, found a bear. Slipper gonna just take the damage. And No Tide. Putting some pressure in this bottom lane. Once again, cutting off the creep wave. Magnus picks up a blink. Probably a sign that VP are going for the Roche pit. Trying to make sure their wave is pushing as hard as possible. And that's what I expect to see, and it does appear to be what they're going. Just push this wave, and it's already pushing their way, and then just head around here. They have all their lanes in pretty good equilibrium for them. It's a little bit hard to push into Roshan, of course, when you're on the Radiant team. Just because it is sort of on the dire side of the map, you have to keep a little bit more pressure than you might otherwise have to. Here we go, Remnant going to be dropped by S4. Giving them that vision, Loda going to blink in. There's the reverse polarity on several there. Get the Storm Spirit, gets the kill on Illidan, double damage room going to be popped. KSI going down, Loda taking quite a bit of damage as well, however. Still alive for the moment, going to be able to escape for a second. Illidan gets recalled in, EGM going to lose his life. 3 heroes down from No Tidehunter, and with those buybacks, coming out immediately from VP as well as the ult from the Keeper Light, being able to recall the Nakes into the fight.
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
Not what you want to really happen, so that's going to be an Aegis up on Lifestealer now. It's 1700 gold. Post buyback. And they're pushing in the bottom lane. Kind of surprised to see this. Maybe just because all the waves are on their side of the map. They can take this range rack and just rotate towards the mid. Complete with bears.
Dire's bottom barracks has fallen.
Bears,
Dire's
bears,
middle
bears,
tower
bears.
is under attack.
Bears, bears. Here we go. Glyph going to be used by No Tide. They're trying to keep their tower alive for as long as possible. Illidan thinking about going for one last
Radiant's top tower is under
hand
attack.
swipe there. Not going to though. And No Tide are going to be able to defend, but they do lose their range racks as well as the Aegis. And kind of the fight at the Roche pit, they force out a couple buybacks as well as get a kill on both of the carries from Virtus.Pro lineup. Illidan just kills his Orb of Venom. Tired of this shit, apparently. Not having any part of it now. Roaming around. Looks like he wants to go for a little gank here. Lone Druid Bear pushing in the top lane with that Radiance Burn. Smoke gonna get used by the Virtus.Pro lineup. Where are they heading? Are they gonna run all the way around into the base? Just go for this and try and get a wraparound on the tower? Does look to be the case. And they're gonna spot Aki. He's in some trouble. Gonna pop that Ghost Scepter, keeps him alive for a moment. Magnus. Ult is up. The reverse player is there. Called on gonna be used by Aki. He's already down, however. KSI getting pulled by the Electric Vortex. From S4, gonna stay alive for a moment. Loda getting roared up. He's dead. Rebuys. Keeper Light getting a double kill. Sanjayashi picked up by Riki now. That's what he has the money for post buyback. And here we go. The tier 3 in the mid lane taking damage once again. The Magnus down. No reverse player to use. Loda blinking in. Looks like he's trying to go on NS. S4 blinking in, trying to get Smile in the meantime. He's going to just lose his life. Loda in some trouble as well. Gonna go down. Wisp, the only one left alive. He's dead as well. No Tidehunter. Gonna just call GG. They're done here. Getting outclassed here by this Virtus.Pro lineup. The Age is going to pop from Illidan. No big deal. As they're going to take lanes. Second lane gone. Going top. Taking the third one. And of course GG was already called, so none of this really matters. Just trying to get as much money as possible. Wait for the players to disconnect. The only one left is S4.
Dire's top barracks are
And then we'll take it to a game 3 between these two teams, Virtus.Pro and No Tidehunter. Of course, No Tidehunter did take the first game. And Virtus.Pro taking it back the second one, the Wisp pick. Just not really getting work done for No Tidehunter in this game. Didn't really get any ganks off. They kept trying to set him up. Kept failing, getting counter ganked pretty effectively. And I think that was a lot of what they were going for. When they picked up that Beastmaster, Illidan farming a little bit, gets a double kill. There we go. So yeah, that's going to do it for Game 2 in this Best of 3 series. My name is Kaz. I will be back momentarily as we wait for that second game to get going. Thanks for coming. Feel free to stick around.